he's able to compete. I'm trying to include my son in everything so that he can live a life like everybody else. I don't see why any other father wouldn't do the same thing for their son or daughter.
Have you ever wondered about your soul? That spiritual or moral force that somehow animates you differently than anyone else. Some believe a truly fulfilling life can only come when you begin to try to understand this immaterial essence of you, the foundation of right and wrong that guides the way you live, what you're all about, why you do what you do. The secret of reaching your capabilities is the true unbreakable belief in yourself that can only be found deep in the central core of wherever it is you find your soul. Most people don't give it much of a thought. That's because they've never been tested or pushed to find out what it is exactly they're made of. Spiritually, mentally. Every October, under a bright full moon, more than 1,000 people come to the mystical Big Island of Hawaii. They are all very good athletes who have committed to doing something called the Ironman, and it's 140 miles. Some think they can win. Others have no chance, except in a larger sense. He was their first, and that day in January 1962 was devastating. Ricky Hoyt was born a spastic quadriplegic with cerebral palsy. Doctors told Dick and Judy Hoyt to send him to an institution, that he'd be a vegetable for life. That was thousands of miles ago. You see, they chose a different path, a lifetime of doing, and in 1989 they completed the Ironman together. The swim, the bike, the marathon. But now, everybody's 10 years older. Still, Ricky's dad's a military man. And today, the mission is prove we still do it. You may ask the question, how will they do it? And it's a hell of a question. And as long as we're asking, would every parent do this for their child? This is Kathy Smith, mom to Jennifer, Kelly, Catherine, Jackie, and Bobby, wife to Greg. It's a time here for all of them. And if mommy does this, do you think these kids will grow up thinking anything is impossible? The children are being bombarded by the tension and the chilly air of dawn in the little village of Kailua. They know the most important woman in their life has talked about this Ironman for years, and this is the time when she's going out there to try and get it. They wanted for her real bad. Peter Reed's deal is different. He won this race last year. He and Laurie Bowden have spoken the words "I do," and earlier this year became the first husband and wife to win an Ironman in Australia. Laurie's been second the last 2 years, and Peter knows the feeling. Last year's win was a relief, and he smiled for hours in the Hawaiian sun because he finished fourth 2 straight years. That can test your soul.
Last year, I was totally blessed. The island gave me so much power. I was strong the entire day. Every time you come to this race, you're always faced with that wall, and you gotta put yourself over it. Just focusing on yourself and hoping that the island is gonna help you, support you, and then it can really work in your favor. But if you think you're gonna conquer it, it'll conquer you.
It was their parents that got them both going in this direction, and it's not the first time that love has blossomed somewhere out there in a training run, but it could be a first husband and wife to sweep the Ironman. The race is loaded with past winners like Aussie Greg Welch, who won in 1994. That day he wore number 19, and as luck would have it, he's that number again. As a rookie, Luke Van Leerde shocked the Ironman in 96. Last year he finished behind Peter Reed, saying, "Nature is stronger than you. I cannot beat nature. It will always beat me." 1997 was Heather Fewer's year when she said she fed off the energy that's out there, and that maybe while the race takes part of your soul, it's what you trade to get that energy. It worked for her. 95's champion Karen Smyers has been away for a while. No big deal, just a broken window sliced her hamstring. She had a baby after 48 hours of labor and an 18-wheeler while training. By winning Thomas Hellriegel Nightmare in 97, the one where he flies on the bike and dies in the marathon. Everything must be perfect on the bike. So there they are, almost 1,500 different hopes and 1,500 different dreams. But they are all unified, because without necessarily wanting to do so, this day will slowly peel away their layers in a slow, unforgiving way, until at some moment we will see the essence of their being, as a huge bay window of light opens to reveal their soul. The Ironman is an enormous task. A 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, then a 26.2 marathon. For everyone. For Kathy Smith, for Dick and Ricky Hoyt. Statistics say 93% of them will finish. Still, that 7% presents a fear factor that is high. They await the cannon. Already, some swimmers have been kicked in the face, while others are feeling great, getting all the right signals as the early adrenaline flows. Ricky Hoyt's gotten a message, too. He is truly loved, and it's going to be a very long day.
You can't see anything in a car. You can't see past the guardrails in a car. That's why we don't make tiny cars.
Look, Mommy, a tugboat.
Really? In the water?
Yeah.
In fact, we don't make cars, period.
Mommy, birds.
Wow.
We prefer the view from the look outside and see the world as Suzu Troop.
Look, Bob, a space shuttle.
Because you never know what you might miss in a car. Is there an underdog in you? stubborn fool in you. Is there a screaming child in you? Is there a crazed lunatic in you? Gatorade, is it in you?
AT&T, 7 cents a minute, all day, every day.
Take one of these.
That'll be 25 cents.
But it says here it's a nickel.
Not for a couple of hours.
What?
Well, see, sometimes it's a nickel, but right now, it's a quarter.
It's like that long-distance nickel plan where they say it's a nickel.
Sometimes they charge you 25.
That's right.
That's where we got the idea.
Is that right?
7 cents a minute, all every day, even to Canada with our internet.
You know, there are some stores that sell candy for one low price all day long.
And people like it?
Oh, they love it.
1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
Here we go. Who's going to win the race? This is Mark Allen. I'll be your cyber host today. Live on IronmanLive.com.
What are you training?
To be the strongest football.
To run a marathon. Introducing the Ironman Triathlon Nutrition Bar from Twin Lab. Balanced nutrition that builds energy and burns fat.
After all, everyone is training for something.
Hi, Tim Twardzik. These pierogies. You folks ever try a pierogi?
What's a pierogi?
Imagine your favorite foods, pasta, potatoes, and cheese wrapped together in one perfect nutful.
More!
Eat up. They're ready in minutes and low fat, too. Just one side effect. Mrs. T's Pierogies. We've got happy food down to a T.
The 1999 Ironman Triathlon World Championship is brought to you by Isuzu. We don't make cars because life is too big for cars. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. When you need a little something extra, counts the most. Gatorade, is it in you? By AT&T One Rate 7 Plan. One simple rate all day, every day. And by Twin Lab Ironman Triathlon Nutrition. A complete line of supplements and energy bars for whatever you're training for.
The 1999 Ironman Triathlon World Championship is presented by Isuzu. Rules in the Ironman, and one of them is you don't have forever. The swim of 2.4 miles will be completed in less than 2 hours and 8 minutes. There's a bike cut and a midnight deadline, but that is later's problem. Right now, it's stay between the buoys and head for the big boat that marks the turnaround. The Pacific Ocean this morning is calm, and the water temperature is a very doable 78 degrees. Those waves will soon erase his footprints, but the impression Mark Allen has made on this race are forever. 6 times he did this. The first man to the line. But he knows what it's like to lose and even be humble to the point of not finishing. Mark has always embraced how this race, especially in this place, reveals your soul, who you really are.
From the outside, the Ironman can look like a day of pure torture. It's not all blood and guts. In fact, there are points in the race where there's absolute freedom. You feel it in those first strokes. That intense anticipation changes to relief when the cannon goes off. I'm racing, you tell yourself. You forget about the immensity of the day. But suddenly it hits you. The day is a lot more than a swim. I'm going to leave the protection of the ocean. I'll have to ride 112 miles and come up with enough reasons to run a marathon. You always know the day will take a lot, but now you realize it's going to take a lot more than you ever imagined. You uncover your first layer of soul. You realize, I can't hide.
Normally, the early race leader is just a good swimmer. Andreas Niedrich, though, is a good all-around triathlete. The blue catamaran is the halfway mark, and members of the media there can begin writing the story of the race. The green caps soon to appear are worn by Greg Welch and Tim DeBoom, the best American in the field. Both have some nationalistic urgings. For Welch, this Ironman helps set the stage for triathlon's Olympic debut next year in his homeland. DeBoom wants to end America's 4-year losing streak. Number 8, Tomas Hellriegel, just wants to get through this. His Ironman is always defined by the bike and marathon. Because he's so fast, he can't lose the race here. Past champion Luc van Lierde is next to later of Germany, who was third the last 2 years. And all the favorites are in the neighborhood, including Canadian Peter Reid. Reid knows how the Ironman can test you. He gave up twice in his early tries. Those turning points most often come 80 miles ahead. Winners don't give in to their weaknesses. They try to make them strengths. If Peter's wife, Lori Bowden, in the orange cap, is to have a first ever win here in Hawaii, improving her swim is the right place to start. Over the last 3 Ironmans, she has shaved 6 minutes off her swim time. Lori credits Peter for inspiring her with the way he trains. And it's an inspiration that's working. Just ahead of Lori is Heather Fuhr. She's roughly a mile from shore, and still there's a lot of traffic. With so much ocean, you wonder why everyone has to be so close. Well ahead is 38-year-old Karen Smyers, the oldest pro here. Karen's husband and sister are also out there, somewhere in a family affair. An outrigger escort helps to keep everyone headed in the right direction, and that usually is not a problem for Walnut Creek, California's Wendy Ingram. She's a player in the water with a 49-minute, 11-second swim a year ago, which was the fastest ever. At 35, though, she says she's learned to take things a little slower, and she is. Tim DeBoom and Greg Welch continue to stay together, head to toe. In a race like this, you take it 1 milestone at a time, and Andreas Niedrig leads the procession to the 1.2-mile halfway mark. Still, for all his hard work, there are plenty of others sloshing right there behind him in this charge to the bikes. As you look around, there are constant reminders of what this day is. Someone will get a charge of being that first one out of the Pacific. Others will go for the win later or just chase a personal best. Then there's the dream to just do it for yourself. And finally, there's Dick and Ricky Hoyt. Dad wearing a harness attached to a raft that gives his son life.
When you look in somebody's eyes, you can see a lot. And I got a lot of feeling when I was looking into Rick's eyes that he knew what was going on. So what we wanted to do was get a computer built so Rick could talk with a computer. He had all these things inside of him, but he had no way of getting them out to tell us about it. Everybody was betting, what is the first words Rick is ever going to say? And his mom saying, well, it's going to be hi, Mom, and me, the dad, saying, well, it's going to be hi, Dad. Well, the Boston Bruins were going for the Stanley Cup, and the very first words he ever said was, go Bruins.
He was 12 then. Now, at 37, this still makes Ricky feel like Bobby Orr on a breakaway. He's always been an achiever, getting through public school, receiving a degree from Boston University. But he's also a giver. While attending a college basketball game, he heard about a charity race to help a paralyzed athlete, and he asked his dad if they could run. That's how it started.
It was a 5-mile race, and the gun went off, and everybody thought that Rick and I would just go to the corner and turn around and come back. Well, we didn't. We went the whole 5 miles, and we finished next to last, but not last. And when we got home that night, Rick wrote on his computer, Dad, when I'm running, it feels like I'm not even handicapped. So we knew right then and there that we found an event that Rick could enjoy, just like everybody else.
This Ironman for Dick and Ricky Hoyt is a lot like that very first race. They are close to being last, but they are not last. And that's a perfect reason to take the next stroke. The leaders in the swim are approaching the pier, and the next time of chaos, the next milestone in their day. It's called the transition. The bicycles are there waiting for them, exactly how they left them well before dawn. Andreas Niedrig and John Van Wissa are first, but a 22-year-old Stanford graduate, Jody Jackson, sets the women's record in 48 minutes 34 seconds. She is a Cardinal who can swim. American Tim DeBoom exits in 48:51, but where is Greg Welch, his partner in the water? DeBoom is 2 minutes ahead of Peter Reed, while Thomas Hellriegel and Karen Smyers are side by side. The cheers for DeBoom will be loud. He's American. It's been a while, and he's got home field advantage. The second woman onto the pier is Wendy Ingram in 50:28, which is a little slow for her. Reed wears number 1 because he's defending champion. The swim was 18 seconds better than last year. Good stuff. Wendy Ingram's pace reflects the frantic atmosphere. She knows the power of those behind her. So does Tim DeBoom, who hurries to get his 112-mile ride on the move. Peter Reed has the calm of a champion, maybe because he sees Luc Van Leerde nearby and he won't have to chase the Belgian. 1 and 2 is how they finished last year, and it's how they'll leave here again. Karen Smyers and Thomas Hellriegel exit together, and now their Ironman really begins. That is, of course, if they can get through here. Wendy Ingram heads out of town. 6 top 10s, but never a win. Time to change that. For Thomas Hellriegel, it's to the bike and to the front, or he's in trouble. Greg Welch looks beaten already, or is it calm? Hard to tell. Luc Van Leerde is on the highway looking for his second title as contenders continue to emerge from the sea, and it's a crowded exit for Heather Fuhr. Peter Reed is out near Van Leerde. It should be quite a duel. Meanwhile, his wife Lori is 12 minutes behind, 495th out of the water, and paying the price with people who just won't stay out of her way. She'll need a big ride. And so the Ironman begins to reveal itself. With plenty who are capable and willing, it's the able part that's always difficult.
What are you training for?
To be the strongest man in football.
To make sure I'm in the driver's seat.
Introducing Ironman Triathlon Nutrition from Twin Lab.
To hit 70.
To reach 70.
Advanced supplements for anyone who wants more energy or stamina.
To run a marathon.
To run after a 2-year-old.
To feel stronger and more alive. Ironman Triathlon Nutrition. 7 new formulas from Twin Lab.
After all, everyone is training for something.
Okay, folks, ready to order?
Yeah, I'll have a tuna melt, and I think she'll have...
I look at you, I don't see tuna melt, I see surf and turf.
But I just want to get a tuna melt.
Come on, impress the little lady friend over here. Go for the surf and turf.
I don't really want the surf and
No,
turf.
you can't afford it.
Oh, no, I can afford it. It's not that I can't afford it. I just...
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard either. At AutoWeb.com, you take control. With unbiased research and dealers that put you first, you'll get your car on your terms. AutoWeb.com, take the wheel.
What's it gonna take to put you into this surf and turf today, huh?
You folks want to try a reason?
Sure, why not?
I'll try one. Oh, please, help yourself.
Just right.
Not too hard, not too soft.
Really chocolatey.
Can I try another one?
Mighty chocolatey, mighty reason. You gotta try them.
Here we go. Who's going to win the race? This is Mark Allen. I'll be your cyber host today. Live on IronmanLive.com.
Professor, tell us about your discovery.
Absolutely. You can get all your long-distance calls for under $1.
How is that possible?
Just dial 1010-220. It's only 99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes and just 9 cents a minute after that.
When do you get these rates?
Every hour of every day.
And no monthly fees.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, no monthly fees.
I told you they'd love it.
Dial 1010-220.
With an 83-year truck heritage behind us, we decided to try something a little different. Introducing the 215 horsepower rally sport-inspired Isuzu V-Cross. Theoretically, still a truck.
Next Saturday, senior quarterback Jarius Jackson and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame play their home finale versus Boston College. Next Saturday at 2:30 Eastern on NBC.
It's called the Queen Kaahumanu Highway, the Queen K, a long stretch of black asphalt that runs through miles of lava fields. Normally here, you bake. This year, it's uncharacteristically cooler, and that suits the women's race leader just fine. Wendy Ingram blew by swim winner Jody Jackson and has time to think about what's ahead and forget the past. It was 1997. An awesome swim and a good ride ended like this. Wendy wobbled into submission by the Ironman, then suddenly thrust into a gut-wrenching crawl to the finish with Sean Welch.
To me, I think it displayed a sense of mental toughness, because mentally I was fine. Just physically, my body had given out. And it does bring tears to your eyes, even though you know what's happening to you. I think when you go into the Ironman, you have all these goals and you have all these dreams, and you think you're gonna do this and that, but once you get on that line and the gun goes off, the bottom line is for everyone, I just wanna cross that line.
It spoke volumes about her competitiveness, but it also revealed to you her soul. Finish, even if you're only a shadow of your former self. Veteran Karen Smyers trails Ingram. The 95 champ has been through so much, but can relax. There are no 18-wheelers on the Queen K. Heather Fewer, the 97 winner, had her usual slow swim, but now has to stay close to unleash her weapon, the marathon, for which she holds the course record. Right now, that perfect plan is failing. She's losing ground. Lori Bowden has urged pace, finishing second the last two Ironmans and coming out of the water 495th will do that to you. She's been passing men, but she has to go even faster. There you go. Comeback in progress. It's a quiet town where they sell great Kona coffee, but to men's leader Tim DeBoom, Hawi is more than that. As the bike turnaround, it's an important milestone, and only 20 miles ahead after a few more of these annoying climbs. Back there is number 150, Andreas Niedrig, who moves in on Lothar later. It's a German duo with purpose. Niedrig would love to make the first Ironman statement of his career. Meanwhile, Later's run the fastest marathon the last 2 years, and all it got him was third both times. Staying near the front here is critical, but that means keeping a close eye on who's behind. A severe case of asthma was what 94 winner Greg Welch thinks caused him to hang on to the turnaround boat for 4 minutes. It is clearly not his day, as the Ironman doesn't care what titles are on your resume. Luc van Lierde was the first European to win this world championship and did so as a rookie in 1996 with an amazing first ever marathon. A year ago, Peter Reed built up an 8-minute bike lead that van Lierde could not erase. This year, Reed can't or isn't making such a move. That's good Belgian news. Peter's just ahead and in much better shape than wife Lori. As they both handle adversity, that's planned for.
I prepare as well as I can going into the race, and then for me it's a battle. It's going against all the elements that are going to be thrown at me and just trying to survive the battle. And that's how I look at it. That's why I take it so seriously, because it's like I'm entering a war.
And I'm trying to
if the currents are bad in the water, trying to even pretend that you like them, or when it's windy, enjoy the wind, enjoy something about it. Maybe it's just something like singing a really happy song in your head, or just telling yourself that you feel really good even when you don't, and then hopefully your body responds and starts to think what your mind's thinking.
And we're different, and that's what helps the both of us so much. I definitely admire Lori for how much fun she has with triathlon. She's having a great time out there, and she's going as fast as she can go, and she's just totally loving it. So sometimes I'll be out there and I'll be going through a really bad section. I'm like, what would Lori do? And it totally relaxes me.
Just having the same sort of lifestyle and the same careers, it really helps us have a perspective on the other person's thoughts and feelings.
I definitely became a better athlete and a better person because of Lori. And I love her for it.
She and Peter live together and work together. Tough for some, but for them it works. Lori continues to chip away and move up. Behind her are all the other undying missions of getting to that finish line. There's a lot of mutual respect out there too, and that's why more than one of these triathletes is probably asking themselves, I wonder if Dick and Ricky Hoyt got out of the water in time.
With an 83-year truck heritage behind us, we decided to try something a little different.
Hey! You left your wallet on the trunk!
Introducing the 215 horsepower Rally Sport-inspired Isuzu V-Cross. Theoretically, still a truck.
You start bumming butts from friends. Then you buy them. Wondering where the money for all your stuff went?
Hey guys, do you want to try a Reason?
Yeah, I'm game. Me too. What's up with Reason?
Got a lot of chocolate.
Great chew, too.
Not too hard, not too soft.
Can I try one more?
Mighty chocolatey, mighty Reason. You gotta try them.
To be the strongest man in football.
To run a marathon. Introducing the Ironman Triathlon Nutrition Bar from Twin Lab. Balanced nutrition that builds energy and burns fat.
After all, everyone is training for something.
United is setting the standard for others to follow. Rising is leading.
Tonight, the movie Time magazine calls an inspirational and moving event, the greatest story ever told through his mother's eyes, a captivating experience.
His faith.
Never, my son.
And TV Guide calls Christian Bale a jolt of electricity.
Never.
Mary, Mother of Jesus, NBC tonight.
You may be wondering how I feel about being disabled.
All right, all three. Let's hear it for Ricky. 1, 2, 3.
To tell you the truth, I don't know what it is like not to be disabled. I was born with cerebral palsy, and it is all I know.
Good job. Good job. On 3, let's hear it for Super Dad. 1, 2, 3.
What I think is important is that people take the time and effort to realize that first and foremost I am a person with a brain and intelligence.
The doctor said, forget Rick, put him away, put him in an institution. He's going to be nothing but a vegetable for the rest of his life.
The letters C-A-N are never followed by an apostrophe T, and that's the easiest way to summarize Team Hoyt. It took Ricky 9 years, but he graduated with a degree in special education from Boston University. When it comes to racing, this isn't their first rodeo. They've been in 700. Once, even cycled across America. And not once in any of those miles did Rick ever ask his dad, why me?
Here he is. He can't talk, he can't use his arms, he can't use his legs. He's living all by himself. His own apartment in Boston. He's gone to public school, he's gone to college. He's competing in road races, he's competing in triathlons. He's sending a message that people with disabilities should be included in all daily activities, just like everybody else, and they should be able to live like everybody else.
And right now they're cycling 112 miles like everybody else, committed to getting to that line like everybody else. This is a collection of your everyday Ironman cyclists, with the slopes of Mauna Kea providing the backdrop. Their concerns are about personal bests, or maybe winning their age group. This is not where you expect to find a past champion. But there she is, Heather Fuhr, losing ground and dropping back. Another Ironman dream burned to a crisp in the Hawaiian sun. Lori Bowden flew by Heather a few miles back, and she's putting on a full court press to get back to the leaders. It's working. Good athletes come back. Karen Smyers is making things happen too. When you survive 48 hours of labor and getting hit by a truck, anything's possible. And this is a significant moment because the leader of the race, Wendy Ingram, is right there. The attack is methodical, so much so that you get the feeling all is not right with Wendy Ingram. If she were to be a player today, she wouldn't be giving ground this easy, because passes like this in the Ironman are usually permanent. Smyers is in the lead for the first time since '96. In the small talk, Wendy Ingram said things were okay, but it's never okay to be passed by someone who can beat you. Yellow shirt, red helmet. That triathlete and everyone behind him are being beaten by a man with one leg. There on the right. He's no lost soul. Kathy Smith, mother of 5. She tried for years to win the Ironman lottery to earn a spot. Didn't work. She's proud she earned her way here with a good enough qualifying time. And if you think she's less of a mom with all that training, think again.
Well, I think that she's one of the coolest moms around. She'll help us with homework. She'll take us places. She's just really fun.
She's perfect. She makes my breakfast. My mom's an iron mom. She can be really funny at times, and then at other times she can be serious. If she makes a promise, she'll keep it.
She tries her hardest to make sure that she's always there. If something goes wrong, I'm always there for her. And if I ever have a bad day, she's there.
Sometimes I call my mommy Daddy, and I call my Daddy Mommy. I love my mommy.
Triathletes can be a tad obsessive. Kathy Smith gave birth to her 5th son the day she swam in a race. She gave birth with her race number on her arms. So this is her average day of trying to become an Iron Mom. Check the weather? Why bother? She's going out there anyway, and she's strapping in to go out there at 4 a.m. Doesn't everybody?
I got started in triathlon about 9 years ago, and I didn't have a great deal of self-esteem. And After setting my first goal of just doing a short little sprint triathlon and crossing the finish line, a change took place in me. And I can actually say that I like myself now. So it's not just the sport. It's what the sport's done for me that's made all the difference, and I don't want to give that up. The family is always, it's at the core of everything that I do. It's always my priority, and I don't give up my Saturday soccer games as a mom just because I have to do my long ride. They're the reason why I do everything. That's my life.
It's a little crazy, but Kathy gets up and, I hear the alarm clock in a distant, bad dream somewhere, and she's gone. But I know what my duty is then is to, get Kelly up here, get Jen up there, and then she's home and things are back to normal and, things didn't skip a beat.
I know I'm a little different than most people, but I just have set these goals and I'm working hard to achieve them. And my kids see it, and they used to think that, I think they used to be embarrassed by me, actually, if I would show up at a soccer game with my bike in the stand, and it's like, oh, Mom, please. But now they think it's cool.
Come on, Katie! It shows us that dreams can come true, that she dreamed about having a better life, and I think she has accomplished that, showing us that she can do triathlons and that she's going to Hawaii.
There are times that I do get tired, frustrated, but then something good happens in my training or in my family, which shows me that I'm doing the right thing. I see this as not the culmination, but as a continuation of what I've found. I found the person inside of me is just an extension of what I've always been trying to do, and that's to find a part of myself that I like.
Kathy Smith is going well. She's targeted 12 hours as a nice finishing time, and that will be quite a reunion at the finish line if she makes it. Grape jelly. Breakfast of champions. Tim DeBoom, American wanting to be a world champion, is still leading the Ironman, having passed the bike turnaround. He's trained with Peter Reed in Boulder, Colorado, and says he's learned a lot. Lesson number 1, they will always be coming after you. Looks like he's aware of lesson number 1. This bike race is heating up, but the surprises that the Ironman always holds, they're still out there waiting to be revealed.
Tonight, in the blink of an eye,
On the left!
everything can change. And in the wake of a tragedy,
Are you okay? Everybody saw him do it!
two partners finally come together. An all-new Third Watch, NBC tonight at 8, 7 Central.
What's your choice of the century, Michigan style? Brought to you by the Hawkins Food Group. Make Pizza Hut your choice tonight.
It's time for you to vote for your favorite performer of the century. Here are 2 of the 6 lucky nominees. Aretha Franklin, a queen of soul and the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She was also named in a poll of her peers by Britain's Mojo magazine as the best singer of all time. Stevie Wonder. Of all the Motown stars, Stevie's has shined the brightest and longest. We watched him grow from little Stevie Wonder into a mature, multifaceted artist whose hits are only a small measure of his importance.
Now it's your turn to choose. Vote and vote often. Remember, there are 6 nominees, so keep watching to find out who will be the performer of the century.
Choice of the century.
Errands,
With performance and features this impressive, you may want to rethink just where you plan to park it. Aaron's, smarter by the yard.
Walter Budson's trial goes national. Get an exclusive preview Monday at 5 on 4.
The men of the Ironman are 80 miles deep into a 112-mile ride. And this time, as the day grows older, the winds get stronger. For those in the main chase group like Luc van Lierde, it's a fierce headwind. But in this race, there's always some element you have to deal with. The Belgian said he was humbled by this island a year before, and that's all part of being experienced, learning not to dwell and move on. Strategically, this is where he wants to be, surrounded by everyone who wanted to leave him behind on the bike because he's so good in the marathon. The German Thomas Hellriegel doesn't look like the fastest rider, as he was last year or in '96 when he set the course record. His breathing is heavy. Looks like the wind could be winning one here. Peter Reed leads this chase group of former winners as they continue to track down the unlikely leader, Tim de Boom. With all their talent and aerodynamics of cycling coming into play, they're a potential juggernaut, slicing through the wind like a train. Up ahead, de Boom's lead is in serious jeopardy. Another chase group has reeled him in. German Lothar Leder is leading this energetic assault, but upon closer inspection, it's discovered why he's pushing so hard. The red slash through his number means he's been given a 3-minute penalty to be served prior to the marathon. Costly is putting it mildly. Leder waves on his assault companion, Peter Sandvang of Denmark. That's how cycling works. Everyone takes a turn in front. Collectively, the group, or in this case, the pair, goes faster. On his entry form, when asked why he was entering the Ironman, Sandvang wrote, "To try and win it." Guess he wasn't kidding. De Boom is literally sweating this one out. He's been leading for over 3 hours, but the Euros don't care. Lothar Leder retakes the front, and they are within sight and sound of the lead helicopter that flies over de Boom. The American needs plan B, to emotionally handle what seems to be an inevitable pass and keep his confidence up. There are a lot of miles and a marathon to go. And then there he is. De Boom and Leder cast some competitive glances at each other. The way you are passed can be devastating. How can he be so much stronger than me at this point? Why does he look so fresh? Stuff like that. For now, it's a 3-man group, but Leder looks like he has other plans. Sandvang, then Tim de Boom. Up off the seat in a try to keep up with the lead. Leder's presence in front is significant because of his marathon ability. He turns to check on the other two and then can't believe what he's seeing. A race official signals for him to stop. He's reluctant, of course. After all, he's leading the Ironman. Eventually, though, he's got no choice. The officials point out that he's been leaving the right lane to draft behind race vehicles in the left. It's his second infraction, remember, and as a result, he's disqualified from the Ironman. For Leder, it's a stunning ach du lieber moment. The Ironman goes on without him. In contrast, all's quiet on the women's front. Karen Smyers is the leader. No problems, no accidents. Very much unlike her life the last 2 years. Right now, this is a ride to savor. Karen Smyers won't be surprised no matter what happens today. After all, she's experienced just about everything here on the roads of the Big Island. like in 1995, when she won this Ironman World Championship by 8.5 minutes. Imagine then you're good enough to do this, and then only 1 year later you are vulnerable enough to be reduced to being a marathon walker. That's when you find out what you're made of. That's when you reveal your soul.
I'm not sure that you're ever actually protected when you're out racing on this course. You have to kind of open yourself up and say, you know, here I am, here are the conditions, and I've got to accept them as they are and fight through them. I think at some point, every single person, no matter how good a day they're having, is going to run up against what they think of as a brick wall almost, where they think, I don't know if I can do this. And the challenge is to come out with the answer, yes, I can.
Right now, Yes I Can could be replaced by Yes I Am, once again the leader of the Ironman, without a challenger in sight. Out there in a pink helmet, we find Wendy Ingram wishing for such inner peace. She's still in second place, but feeling sick. There's been vomiting, and it doesn't take long when someone who knows everything about their body starts to get signals that this body may not make it today. To make her feel even worse, there's the vision of a strong Lori Bowden. The proof is in the numbers. 70 miles into the bike ride, and what was once a 12-minute deficit is down to 5. Now, if Peter Reed can uphold his end of the bargain, this husband-wife sweep idea seems possible again.
This TWA first class seat comes with one feature most requested by today's business travelers: a coach fare. First up, from Transworld Airlines. Before your next flight, ask if we can put you in first class for your full fare coach ticket. First up, from TWA, one airline with one mission, yours.
PlanetOutdoors.com. Our search for the lost tribe of civilization, a people who live cut off from the outside world, has led us here to the island of Manhattan. Curious locals gather as the team ascends the slick tar-covered riverbank. An alpha male approaches bearing a primitive animal hide satchel. David demonstrates the advantages of a lightweight day pack. PlanetOutdoors.com. Get on, gear up, get out.
Madame, Monsieur, may I take your order?
Yes, the lady who had the escargot, but not for $15. We'll give you 3, and that's our final offer. And a bottle of your finest Merlot for, say, $7.50?
Oh, honey, let's give him 7.
7. Excuse me, sir.
These are nice.
All right. We give you $89 for the candle holders, the water goblets, the flatware.
Like to haggle? Go to hagglezone.com, where you can buy lots of brand new stuff, and everything's negotiable.
It's the chandelier, and another 20 for your watch.
Haggle Zone. How good are you?
Sir.
We're close.
Move out!
What happens when a company that specializes in trucks unveils the most powerful SUV in its class? Introducing the new 205 horsepower, go anywhere, Isuzu Amigo.
We gotta stop letting these things out for test drives.
Jason Williams. Basketball is a game, but it's a game that you can play with style. Pistol Pete defined the word. Bob Cousy had it, and the Magic Man gave us showtime. It's our turn now.
It's easy to be inspired by the beauty of Hawaii. Volcanically rising over 30,000 feet from the Pacific Ocean floor to become the world's tallest mountain is Mauna Kea. From here, you can gaze into the heavens and be surrounded by the earliest snowfall ever. It can make you feel small or like doing something great. Mark Allen always chose the latter. He embraced the lava fields, the presence of the Hawaiian spirits, and all the tests of your will that come in the Ironman. He knew how to make it work, and he knew what it was like when things didn't work at all. Sometimes it's mental. Sometimes it's physical. Sometimes it's both.
You think you know what it's going to take to become an Ironman. You plan, you train, you line it all up just right, but then you're tested. You don't even know if you can finish. Now the island calls you. Okay, big shot, don't try to hide from me. Show me your strength. Show me your humility. Be born back into your innocence. Remember it? That childhood place where just living is good enough? Do that, and I'll give you what you need to go on. Fight me, and you'll be crushed under your own fears. Freedom is inside of you. Find the courage to keep going.
Head games at the bike transition. In the tent is an Ironman All-Star game in progress. Peter Reed has entered. Luke Van Leerde is there. And next to Reed, Thomas Hellriegel. 3 past champions ready to run. Reed's marathon last year was 27 seconds faster than Luke Van Leerde, 2:47 and change. Hellriegel's best ever, a 2:51. Do the math. Reed and Hellriegel are still lacing up as Van Leerde leads. He is capable of just blowing everybody away. Forget last year. In '96, he ran a 2:41, and that's almost Mark Allen territory. Number 4 is Christoph Mock of Switzerland. He's running in good company. So it's Van Leerde, then Mock, with Hellriegel and Reed precious seconds behind. A chase group that for now is well spaced out. The Ironman usually plays out its most riveting drama in the marathon, and 99 is no different. The leaders have already been on the run, literally and figuratively. Peter Sandvang, last year a 12th place finisher, doesn't have the credentials to be in this spot, but that was said of Van Leerde in '96. Tim de Boom has fallen behind Sandvang and knows Luke Van Leerde is right behind him, ready to pounce. The defending champion finally makes it out of the tent in 6th place. Obviously not the plan. This title is not easy to defend. For Karen Smyers, it's good to be back in civilization and hear some noise. The leader of the women's race acknowledges the cheers on Ali'i Drive, knowing full well the real cheers are the ones that come when you're in first and running down Ali'i Drive. Beth Zinkan, number 154, is a major surprise. In 2nd place, only 1 minute back. She was a collegiate swimmer at Clark University and is from Davis, California. It was just the feeling that this 29-year-old would fade away. Instead, here she is, suddenly a major player. Beth Zinkan, good in the water, tough on the bike, but can she run? Karen Smyers feels the refreshing breezes that come from the ocean waves. Just ahead is the bike transition. And just last year, she was recovering from 6 broken ribs, a lung contusion, and a separated shoulder, sustained when a truck hit her in training. Quite a recovery. Thanks, Doc. It's called the Pit, and it's near the beginning of the marathon, a devious U-turn at the bottom of that hill. What goes down, of course, must painfully come up. The U-turn allows you to exactly see where you stand. Luke Van Leerde and Tim de Boom are on the way down. Peter Sandvang's already been there, so his lead is how long it would take Van Leerde and Tim de Boom to get where he is. Certainly, Sandvang noticed how strong Van Leerde looked in 2nd place, and it's not long before he sees Mock, Hellriegel, how you doing, and even Peter Reed. Van Leerde and de Boom at the turn in the pit. The Belgian looks stronger, and the climb out should tell a lot. Peter Sandvang is not the picture of strength, checking his watch, rapidly breathing. His lead is dwindling. His surprising presence at the front of the Ironman in jeopardy. Tim DeBoom has indeed kept up with Van Leerde's up-tempo pace, and they're stalking Sandvang. Van Leerde's confidence must be soaring. There is nothing to suggest that anyone left can keep up with his pace, but that's on paper. It's hard to read minds, but when you think of Thomas Hellriegel, not being able to grab a lead on the bike was huge. Same can be said for Peter Reed. It's time to stay close and hope something happens to the Belgian Express. Boulder, Colorado's Tim DeBoom is giving the Americans hope because he is still keeping up with Van Leerde. And hooking up with him was one smart idea. The Belgian is now steps away from Peter Sandvang's lead. With a few more purposeful strides, that lead is convincingly his. For Sandvang, it's time for damage control. For Tim DeBoom, it's once again time to question, can you still stay with Van Leerde? Who can? Van Leerde looks like he did in victory in 1996, when he ran a marathon for the first time in his life. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Here, instead of using the hill to burn his opponents, he is using gravity and the downhill. It's working perfectly. Still, there are all those miles in the lava fields, and the trip down into the heat of the place called the Energy Lab still to come. And it's hard to remember an Ironman when the real big move or an important charge didn't take place out there. Plus, doesn't Peter Reed have to have one final say before he gives up his world championship? The one Luc Van Leerde seems determined to take back at Ironman 99.
You can't see anything in a car. You can't see past the guardrails in a car. That's why we don't make tiny little cars.
Look, Mommy, a tugboat.
Really? In the water?
Yeah.
In fact, we don't make cars, period.
Mommy, birds.
Wow.
We prefer the view from the look outside and see the world as Suzu Trooper.
Look, Bob, a space zone.
Because you never know what you might miss in a car.
To be the strongest man in football.
To run a marathon. Introducing the Ironman Triathlon Nutrition Bar from Twin Lab. Balanced nutrition that builds energy and burns fat.
After all, everyone is training for something.
You with the long face. Have a seat. Come in.
I'm the 1-800 Collect Advice guy. And you look like you could use some.
Yeah, I borrowed my dad's car. Me and my buddies drove up here for a little fun.
Go on.
Yeah, well, I didn't exactly ask if I could borrow it.
Give them a call. Use 1-800 Collect and save them $1 or $2. That way they'll forget about all the dumb stuff you've done.
Hey, should I tell them about the tattoo?
Depends where it is. Use 1-800 Collect. Save them $1 or $2.
Here we go. Who's going to win the race? This is Mark Allen. I'll be your cyber host today. Live on IronmanLive.com.
For friendly advice and great savings on your DirecTV system, stop by Circuit City today. When you get a DirecTV system and subscribe to Total Choice Programming, you'll get 2 free months of 32 premium movie channels and 25 specialty sports networks, a value of over $100. Plus, get a free self-install kit, a $50 value, or professional installation for only $99 with your DirecTV system. Save on DirecTV today at Circuit City.
Defending champion Martina Hingis, Lindsay Davenport, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, and more. The Chase Championships next Sunday on NBC. Christy Yamaguchi, Victor Petrenko, Rosalind Sumners, and more. KBKids.com Star Skates Goes Country next Sunday at 4 Eastern on NBC.
Kathy Smith, the mother of 5 from Southborough, Massachusetts, is having everything go according to plan. She wanted to swim in 1 hour and 20 minutes, did it in 1:16. Wanted to cover the 112 miles, averaging about 18 miles an hour. She's right on target. Now we know how she keeps all those soccer practices scheduled. Karen Smyers approaches the bike to marathon transition. As always, it's a hectic place. Her bike time is 5 hours, 15 minutes. And Beth Zinkan, the X Factor, is only seconds behind. Still, Karen has star status, and there are many who recognize the former champ. Lori Bowden is now only a couple of minutes back. Her bike ride had a lot of zoom to it and is looking like the fastest of the day. The question is, how much does she have left? Beth Zinkan in the background has done everything today faster than anyone thought, and that now includes the transition. Pretty sneaky, but Smyers is right behind. Zinkan, a DNF last year and 45th in 1997. That she leads the Ironman this late in the race is shocking. Canadian Melissa Spooner is off the bike in third, grabbing her leg. Not a good sign when you're about to run a marathon. She was fourth here a year ago, so this is a chance to break new ground. Lori Bowden's getting a head start at removing the cycling shoes. In her sneakers last year, she ran a 3:07 marathon, and only a handful of women have gone that fast in Ironman history. It's a wobbly arrival for Wendy Ingram. Sick the entire bike ride, it's amazing she remains in fifth. She doesn't appear to be in any hurry. Suzanne Nielsen of Denmark precedes Melissa Spooner out of the tent. This is fourth and fifth place. So far, everyone is within 2 minutes of the lead. A fresh Lori Bowden finds a dejected Wendy Ingram, but doesn't stay for long.
Okay, you go. We're making a decision now. Anything else? Something to drink? Want a sponge?
It's the moment of truth for the men. Belgian Luc van Lierde is in the Energy Lab, a downhill, uphill, 4-mile detour off the Queen K Highway. He looks like he's in mile 1 on the toughest part of the course. Peter Reed has moved into second, trying not to go quietly. It is a reversal of fortune from a year ago. That was when van Lierde was trying to catch Reed in this very place. He trails the Belgian this time by 1:50. Van Lierde's lead now is actually growing, and he becomes one of the few to actually gain energy in this place. It was always so ironic that this was where so many lost it. The last 2 Ironmans that Karen Smyers was in, she ran a 3:05, then a 3:22. So today is tough to figure. Fact is, she looks calm as she goes through the marathon motions. Why so smooth? Well, experience. She's won, she respects the race, and knows how to do this. Another reason is that the leader, Beth Zinkan, is only 15 feet away. The momentum of Lori Bowden didn't end in the transition tent. When Wendy Ingram said, "You go," she took her seriously. And here, passes Melissa Spooner into fourth. It beats you up when you get past with such ease after so much work. Karen Smyers keeps things interesting by retaking first place from Beth Zinkan. Major shifting in the women's top 5. Van Luda's flying and out of the energy lab. His lead has ballooned from 150 to 310. Peter Reed can only try to keep his cool and hang on to whatever personal prestige comes from second place. Here in the Ironman's hottest place, it was Luc Van Lierde that sizzled. In '96, he was the big surprise, the one nobody knew with the marathon speed to die for. Last year, he let Peter get away on the bike. This year, he made the adjustment. Before leaving town toward the lava fields, Laurie Bowden roars up on Beth Sinkan to take second place. Clearly, there is a value to having been among the leaders this late in the race before. Now it's Laurie versus Karen Smyers. Pressure? Not after what she's been through. But Karen Smyers knows this is know your limits time. Bowden is only 1 minute back. They chant his name as Luc Van Lierde revisits Ali'i Drive. His marathon speed has become an enormous weapon, as it was for Mark Allen and Dave Scott. It changes the game. The others must react to him. He unwraps a Belgian flag given to him a short way back. Someone must have had an inkling that we would be saying Luc Van Lierde, 1999, and now two-time Ironman Triathlon World Champion. Van Lierde was lucky. He finished just as the winds really kicked up. And for the win, Ricky Hoyt, perched on the handlebars of that 15-year-old bicycle, present a huge target. It knocks them back. Dick grinds it out, but at times he's barely moving, and the clock is ticking. It's shortly after 3, and they must be at the transition by 5:30. Projecting their current speed shows it's going to be close. And so we come to another moment of human beauty in the Ironman. Van Lierde, the image of youth and strength, is miles away amidst the noise. Dick and Ricky Hoyt are alone in the quiet out in the wind. But they have the same drive as him, the same type of soul as him. Here it's the absolute commitment of a father to a son to try and get him to that line. Just like he did 10 years ago.
To be the strongest man in football.
To make sure I'm in the driver's seat.
Introducing Ironman Triathlon Nutrition from Twin Lab.
To hit 70.
To reach 70.
Advanced supplements for anyone who wants more energy or stamina.
To run a marathon.
To run after a 2-year-old.
To feel stronger and more alive. Ironman Triathlon Nutrition. 7 new formulas from Twin Lab.
After all, everyone is training for something.
With an 83-year truck heritage behind us, we decided to try something a little different.
Hey! You left your wallet on the trunk!
Introducing the 215 horsepower Rally Sport-inspired Isuzu V-Cross. Theoretically, still a truck.
You folks want to try a Reason?
Sure, why not?
I'll try one. Oh, please, help yourself.
Just right.
Not too hard, not too soft.
Really chocolatey. Can I try another one?
Mighty chocolatey, mighty Reason. You gotta try them.
Here we go. Who's going to win the race? This is Mark Allen. I'll be your cyber host today. Live on IronmanLive.com.
AT&T, 7 cents a minute, all day, every day.
Take one of these. That'll be 25 cents.
But it says here it's a nickel.
not for a couple of hours.
What?
Well, see, sometimes it's a nickel, but right now, it's a quarter.
It's like that long-distance nickel plan where they say it's a nickel.
Sometimes they charge you 25.
That's right.
That's where we got the idea.
Is that right?
7 cents a minute, all day, every day, even to Canada with our international plan.
You know, there are some stores that sell candy for one low price all day long.
And people like it?
Oh, they love it.
Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll.
Next Saturday, senior quarterback Jarius Jackson and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame play their home finale versus Boston College. Next Saturday at 2:30 Eastern on NBC.
The Ironman Triathlon is presented by Isuzu. Here on the Big Island, he has done it again. Luke Van Leerde is Ironman Triathlon World Champion. 4 more, and he catches Mark Allen. They're at the finish.
Luke, congratulations. You came here in 96. You had a magical race. You won on your first time out, set a world record. 98, it was a different story. You really had to learn about the island. You said you respected it. How did you put that knowledge to work today?
Well, like I said before the race, you have to respect the island, especially the weather. And it was pretty tough on the bike. We had a headwind going up, and not too hard, but on the way back, the wind turned, and we had a headwind on the way back also. But the island was very kind to us on the run. It wasn't too hot, it was cloudy, so it was a good weather for a good marathon.
It was his day to run with his flag, to break the tape, to run like the wind and beat it. Peter Reed shows some dejection at the conclusion of his race. It wasn't meant to be for him. But the moment he crosses the line, he refocuses. That's because his day is far from over. Wife Lori Bowden is still out there.
Just seeing Lori evolve as an athlete the past 4 years has been incredible. You know, she's been in triathlon longer than I have, but all of a sudden to see her get really focused about triathlon and to see her improve dramatically over the years, it's just been a huge rush, and I know she has what it takes to do it.
Peter Reed is at the finish, saying how maybe it was meant to be this way for Lori, that she should have this day to herself. She passes Karen Smyers into the lead so that maybe she can have that day.
The first time I ever did the Hawaii Ironman was back in 1989, and I was just this punk kid going there to have fun and cross the finish line, and I never ever knew that I would actually be racing pro and competing against the best in the world. And I think it's nice because it's still the same. I'm still trying to get to the finish line and have fun along the way, and it can end up being a really hard day or maybe just one of those magical, easy days, but definitely you just learn so much about yourself.
Comes after a record-setting first-ever sub-3-hour marathon. They were on their own out there for a while, but now they're together again. And while they didn't do it at the same time, they'll each have a medal back at home in Victoria, BC. Karen Smyers enters into the bubbling emotions of a Le'i drive. In 4 tries at this torturous race, she has won it, finished 3rd, and now 2nd twice. There is tremendous honor in her consistency, and now too in her ability to physically come back from where she was. Tim DeBoom with the best ever 3rd, a future hope for the Americans perhaps. And then the annual Ironman parade, underway, and may we never ask again why they do it. After 140 miles, Karen Smyers looks okay, a bit relieved, and her first hug comes from Lori Bowden. It was Luc Van Leerte's second Ironman win. Peter Reed's personal best Ironman time, just not good enough this year. After De Boom, Mach of Switzerland, fourth a second straight year. Olivier Bernhard ran the fastest marathon. He'll have to work on the bike part. Thomas Hellriegel was sixth. Greg Welch hung on and finished 11th. Mark Allen is with Lori Bowden.
Lori, congratulations. You had an incredible string of international Ironman victories this year, and now the big one in Kona.
You never know how this race is going to go. It just gets tougher and tougher every year, and this is like a dream come true. I was so happy last year just to share in Peter's victory, and I didn't know if mine would ever come, but this is incredible. I just wanted to know what that feeling was like.
Lori's 2:59:16 marathon is a record run here. Beth Zinkan from California, the X Factor there for a while, came in fifth. Fernanda Keller had a third straight third-place finish. Iron Mom hopeful Kathy Smith continues to hit all her target times, having made the smooth transition to the marathon. If she finishes the race, she will be the Isuzu Go Farther Award winner and wins an Ironman edition Isuzu Via Cross. Go, Kathy, go. The kids, forget that. Greg will love it.
Dateline Sunday, an RV salesman, an ex-con, and a go-go dancer, all heading to the Holy Land.
God is bringing special chosen ones to this land.
Giving up their jobs and families forever. Do they know something we don't? An all-new Dateline Sunday. Then Tuesday, don't miss Ann Curry's exclusive with the McCoy septuplets.
Meijer knows it's not too soon to prep for the holidays. Start this week. Get Kraft Miracle Whip salad dressing for just $1.88. Limit one total. Stock the pantry with cans of fresh-like vegetables, only 32 cents. And pick up your free copy of the Holiday Main Course booklet at the greeter stand while quantities last.
There's a million reasons in a single store.
Hi, I'm Uncle Robinson. Tired of paying high prices for furniture? Then come to Robinson's Emergency Warehouse Sale, where every piece of furniture is emergency priced because our warehouse is overstocked. So every leather sofa and chair is up to 75% off. Dinettes and bedroom sets, up to 75% off. Everything's up to 75% off. And there's no down payment, no interest, no payments, period, till 2001. Robinson Furniture, you have an uncle in the furniture business.
Unrivaled connectivity to the arts and entertainment, science and medicine, industry and education. Wayne State University, a comprehensive national research university entering a new era of greatness. 200,000 alumni already know, and 32,000 students are learning. Wayne State University is the intellectual hub of Metro Detroit. Connect to us. Call toll-free 877-WSU-INFO or visit us at wayne.edu.
Walter Budson's trial goes national. Get an exclusive preview Monday at 5 on 4.
This is now the other Ironman, the one that's not about first place. The secret of reaching your capabilities is the true unbreakable belief in yourself that can only be found deep in the central core of wherever it is that you find your soul. Most people don't give it much of a thought. That is because they have never been tested or pushed to find out what it is exactly that they are made of. Spiritually, physically, mentally.
I think it's equal parts love affair and ordeal. To do this race well, it's an incredible sacrifice. People at all walks of life, at all levels, whether you're trying to win it or whether you just want to finish it, they're the only ones, them and their family, that realize the dedication that it takes and the sacrifice for months on end, where you put the rest of your life on hold.
In the 80s, Scott Tinley won the Ironman twice. This is her 20th and final time. Baltimore's Lynn Brooks' best Ironman was her first. This is also her 20th and last.
This race is about challenge. And my perspective is with challenge come opportunities and possibilities. Really, in the 19 years, have ever finished this race and been disappointed because I think we're very blessed and lucky, all the athletes. It's kind of a privilege that we're here.
It's been 10 years since Carlos Melita's Navy SEAL unit was attacked in Panama. A bullet to the spine cost him the use of his legs, but it didn't kill his spirit.
When I first got injured, the doctors, the first thing that they tell you is all the things that you can't do. You can't walk anymore, or you can't do this and you can't do that. And I always wanted to push all those feelings aside and focus on all the things that I could still do. And when I get to the Ironman, it's like this is the top of the freedom that I have, because I leave my chair in the morning at the pier and I'm on my own pretty much the whole day out there on the race. And it's a kind of freedom I can't really get anywhere else.
You can't have any ego. You're as raw as it gets. There's nothing around you that you don't look good, you don't feel good. It's who you are, and you are exposed to everyone and the elements, and you have to say, you know what, I'm okay, I can do this. This is all right, this is what I want to do. And I'm hoping to gain so much strength in knowing that I'm an Ironman.
Kailua Kona is Karen Davis's home. For 8 years, she worked with the race. Now she's in it for the first time, mother of 2. Maybe Scott Tinley liked being a kid again every year in the Ironman. For him, for us, there always comes a time, though, when you have to face the clock.
It's harder to watch yourself gradually decline, because what you have is the deflation of this huge ego, and it's very painful because you're on the quintessential hero's journey where you were built up to larger than life, and gradually the backside of that hero's journey is going back to normality, and that takes a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, and eventually when you get there, you're a lot wiser and thoughtful for the whole experience. But in the meantime, you go through some fairly strange feelings about the whole thing.
For years, Tinley has been out there with the others. Arnold Palmer on a public course. He has lived with this race, grown older with it, and made it better.
I've seen the people when they cross the line and they have this like glow. And even talking to them afterwards, they get this sparkle in their eyes. I want to know that look. I can't wait for that. I can't wait.
With Karen Davis's hometown supporters cheering from the mezzanine, she's changing her life, one step at a time. Carlos Melita, his massive upper body pushing him on, is trying to repeat his division championship of a year ago. He's done this from Miami to his home in Virginia and 363 miles over the mountains of Alaska. Time to conquer Hawaii for an encore. Scott Tinley's last doesn't look like it's coming easily. One last lesson from the Ironman.
Sometimes I come over here and I felt like a warrior, and I felt like there's nobody that can beat me. And other times I come over here and I feel like an observer. And I feel like I'm watching all these things go on, and I thought, geez, how am I going to put myself in the game, in the race? And I was fortunate to have the chance to use it as a vehicle for self-knowledge and find a reason every year, even if it was the tiniest thing, to find a reason why I was out there, why I was competing, why I was putting myself through this incredible suffering. And I feel very blessed to have had that chance.
He's retiring from Ironman. Give it up for the great Scott Tinley.
His time is more than 2 hours slower than the men's race. And the emotions flow as he says goodbye and learns a little bit more about the nobility of the other Ironman. and Ricky Hoyt's first ever race spurred them to run on because they weren't last. Here and now they are. The wind's effect on their combined weight has been devastating to Dick. And as Scott Tinley learned, everyone and everything has a limit because of age. Their 15-year-old bike has something wrong with it, and it looks like they'll never make the marathon transition in time. Dealing with adversity, though, is in their soul. They will try and find a way. Have you ever wondered about your soul? That spiritual force that somehow animates you, makes you what you are?
It looks like your brake. Can you brake? It looks like your brake is rubbing. That one, yeah. That's why we're going so slow. No, sir. We're so impressed. We know what you're doing. It seems to be fully released on this side. Try it now.
You know, let me call tech support.
Yeah, let's talk
Here's
that.
some Gatorade.
Thanks. Here's some Gatorade. Can I help you hold it up?
A broken bicycle part. Is that how this ends? The fear is that sometimes the Ironman is like that.
Sir. Get close. Move out! What happens when a company that specializes in trucks unveils the most powerful SUV in its class? Introducing the new 205 horsepower, go anywhere, Isuzu Amigo.
We gotta stop letting these things out for test drives.
With Lycos.com, your home base for everything from fast searches to one-stop shopping. And get whatever it is in the world you want from the World Wide Web. Lycos, go get it.
What are you training for?
To be the strongest man in football.
To run a marathon.
Introducing the Ironman Triathlon Nutrition Bar from Twin Lab. Balanced nutrition that builds energy and burns fat.
After all, everyone is training for something.
Here we go. Who's going to win the race? This is Mark Allen. I'll be your cyber host today. Live on IronmanLive.com.
United is setting the standard for others to follow. Rising is leading.
What stands between you and your goal? Will you give into it? Or fight through it? Will you fear it? Or embrace it? Will you hold back? Or hold nothing back? When you need something extra, when it counts the most, will it be there? Gatorade, is it in you?
For years, I watched them. They were supermen. We'd go out and practice for hours because we wanted to be just like them. It's our turn now.
There is not another bike in sight except the one that belongs to the Hoyts. With patience as strong as their resolve, Dick and Ricky have waited 30 minutes for help. Knowing that the time lost could cost them a chance at finishing, Dick asks Ricky if he still wants to go on.
Would you want it, Rick? You would? Yeah. He wants to, we will. You're up to it?
Just like that, no hesitation, the decision is made. Care, respect, love. And it goes both ways.
Yeah, he loves to get out on a run course because he likes to see people in front of him.
Rick, to me, is the competitor. He really wants to win, and he's a fighter, and he's never going to give up. And there's just something that gets inside of me when I'm pushing him that I can go faster, and I can do all these things. I don't know exactly what it is.
They'll spend at least 17 hours today together. How many fathers and sons have a time of mutual achievement like that? Is that not something to cherish in any family?
You know, I have thought long and hard about what I would do if I wasn't in a wheelchair. I love sports, so maybe I would play hockey, basketball or baseball, but then I thought about it some more, and what I would probably do first is tell my dad to sit down in the wheelchair, and now I would push him.
It's Rick and I out there competing together, and it has really helped me because I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. And I am 59 years old, and it makes me, and I feel like I've got a body of a 22-year-old person. And it's all his fault.
That was when Dick cried, when he talked about what Ricky gave him.
Now we'll see what happened to the legs.
Can't help you there.
The front brake was fixed, but the Hoyts can no longer make the cutoff in time. They will have to try and complete the final 63 miles for each other. Carlos Molina continues on in the marathon. To him, this is not about just finishing. He's out to break his own course record of a year ago. 11 hours, 25 minutes, 55 seconds. The strides of the rookie Iron Mom, Kathy Smith, look strong. As she's moved through the race, she's hooked up with some new friends. Maybe she just needed a little family around her. Talk about rejuvenated. Dick and Ricky Hoyt are moving along the Queen K Highway looking like they just got started. Still, the challenge ahead is filled with so much that is unknown. In past years, Ironman runners have said the spectacular sunsets over the Pacific filled them spiritually and moved them to go towards it, towards the line. The line, there continues to be an ever-changing look of human achievement, conquering a distance that they all at some point in their life thought was out of reach. Then came the time they thought differently, and that brought them to this. Carlos Molina rips half an hour off his record time as he finishes into the warm embrace of Mom, his wife, and 4-year-old son. The Hoyts arrive at an almost deserted bike-to-run transition. They are 90 minutes past the cutoff. But we'll do this because it's what they came for.
You're going to do the straps first?
Twilight gives way, and the glow sticks kick in. To the Hoyts, all the runners still out there are targets to catch.
Just hitch that hat on it. Just like got everything? You all set, Rick? Feeling good? Ready to go catch some people?
All right.
26 miles to go.
Okay, folks, ready to order?
Yeah, I'll have a tuna melt, and I think she'll have.
I look at you. I don't see tuna melt. I see surf and turf.
But I just want to get a tuna melt.
Come on, impress the little lady friend over here. Go for the surf and turf.
I don't really want the surf and
No,
turf.
you can't afford it.
Oh, no, I can afford it. It's not that I can't afford it. I just...
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard either. At AutoWeb.com, you take control. With unbiased research and dealers that put you first, you'll get your car on your terms. AutoWeb.com. Take the wheel.
What's it gonna take to put you into this surf and turf today, huh?
Hey, guys. Do you want to try a Reason?
Yeah, I'm game. Me too. What's up with Reason?
Got a lot of chocolate.
Great chew, too.
Not too hard, not too soft.
Can I try one more?
Mighty chocolatey, mighty Reason. You gotta try them.
Here we go. Who's going to win the race? This is Mark Allen. I'll be your cyber host today. Live on IronmanLive.com.
You start bumming butts from friends. Then you buy them. Wondering where the money for all your stuff went?
Professors, behold my newest discovery.
I believe that's already been invented.
But I've discovered a way to get all long-distance calls for only 99 cents.
Impossible.
It's true. Dial 10-10-220 and talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents.
And if you talk longer?
It's just 9 cents a minute after that.
What about fees or contracts?
They don't exist. It's flawless.
It's your best work yet.
I know.
Discover 10-10-220.
Hey, Tim Twardzik here. Ever taste a pierogi?
No, but I saw something like this in Roswell.
Imagine your favorite foods, pasta, potatoes, and cheese, wrapped together in one perfect mouthful.
They'd like these.
Hoop-de-doo! There they go. Mrs. T's Pierogies. We've got happy food down to a T.
NBC Monday, a heartless murder.
Sorry to have to tell you this, ma'am.
An obvious suspect.
Convicted 11 years ago. Child molestation.
And when you think you know the ending, it doesn't end there.
DNA did not match the DNA we found on Ryan.
After all, this is Law and Order.
Jerk us around, we'll bury you.
Law and Order Special Victims Unit, Monday, 9, 8 Central.
The 1999 Ironman Triathlon World Championship is brought to you by Isuzu. We don't make cars because life is too big for cars. By Twin Lab Ironman Triathlon Nutrition, a complete line of supplements and energy bars for whatever you're training for. By 10-10-220, dial it and talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents. And by United Airlines, rising is a daily commitment to make flying more civilized. United is rising.
All the pros, all the age groupers, we're all feeling the same. We all have this bond of, we made it. We all did it. And you can see it. You don't even have to talk about it. You just feel it.
It's not conquering the race course, but it's conquering yourself. It's conquering the things inside you that tell you you can't do this.
We all have a goal. My goal is to try to win the race. Then there are people, their goals is to finish. Some have to go under 10 hours. Some have to go to finish before midnight. So everybody has a goal. And some will succeed in their goals and some won't.
It's like one huge family here, and standing at the finish line towards the end of the night when you're waiting for all the last finishers, you're so proud of every single person. You know what they've gone through and how hard it is, what a struggle it is.
The finish line is awesome. You know, it's just awesome. And often just that last turn before you come on a Leahy Drive, I often need to just stop, you know, and just really appreciate having gotten there.
It's what I dream about all the time when I train and work. I think about finishing and seeing my daughter and my husband. And I say that it's the greatest thing you'll ever do, and my life is great now, and I can't imagine what it'll be like.
For the Hoyts, the uphills of the marathon are agony. Dick's body is bathed in sweat, and the energy of catching some runners hasn't come. The Ironman continues to peel away the layers until we see the core. We encounter a friendly face from an Ironman past. Judy Molnar decided then to lose some weight, work out, and eventually challenge this race. But here in Hawaii, things didn't work out. That was last year, when the winds of Hawaii destroyed her. After withdrawing from the race, she went to her hotel, showered, and came back to the finish line to cheer the finishers, talking about still being inspired and about next time. She was not beaten. This is next time, and to help her get there, an 8-time champion just happens to come along. Paula Newby Frazier wants Judy in the family. Greg and the Smith family want Mom. And then suddenly, there she is, appearing from the darkness. Lynn Brooks' last Ironman steps aren't easy, but maybe those steps will help her savor the moment. What is it like to know and do something you absolutely love for a last time? Team Hoyt bounces back again, and now they are passing runners. They could make it to the finish line before midnight, and that would be a running miracle. Karen Davis can almost say it. And Judy Molnar is coming home.
Rick's the one that keeps me going. He wanted to do this and he wanted to do it back. This will probably be our last time back to Hawaii. So he really wanted to finish it. He wanted to finish it strong.